Okay, hello guys. Hi teacher. This is our presentation is about code switching, and this presentation was made by Mari Leon and Adriana Gutierrez.
And this is our index. We have 7 points or topics. First, we have what is code switching, functions in teachers and students, both analyze video and bibliography.
Okay, we're going to start. Well, what is code switching? Basically, is the practice of alternating between two or more languages or varieties of the language in the conversation. Can be, for example, with the native and a foreign or second language. The code switching is widely observed phenomenon, especially seen in multilingual and multicultural communities. There are two types, the intersentential and intrasentential. It depends according with the context and the things that some students are learning in the moment.
We have functions. We are going to see a functions teacher. We have repeating function that is the teacher code switching in order to clarify meaning. The teacher try to repeat the word because they need to the topic. What will clarify, and they try to say the word in the native language because they need to keep the attention. The affective function is when they try to use native language when the teacher needs to say something that is important about feelings, about things that could affect the situation on classroom or other students. So they need to say there's something in the native language, and the topic switch. Teachers alter their language according to the topic, because sometimes they need to say the things in Spanish because students can't pay attention because the topic could be boring, and it's automatic behavior, and many times teachers do it unconsciously. The language change when dealing with specific grammar issues, and it's used to build solidarity and intimate relationships with students.
Okay, the second is about students. The first function that we can find is the equivalence. In that part, for example, it's a kind of mechanism that some students use when they don't know some words or these kind of things that they are not learning during the moment, and they try to use that words that they want to say, but in her mother tongue. And this is a form in which this kind of students try to use. This is a kind of function that try to use the students like to continue with the communication and breaking the gaps resulting from foreign language incompetence. The second is a floor holding. In a conversation in the target language, the L1 is used to support the communication. it's kind of similar with the first. Is, for example, when a student are talking about a whatever topic and they forgot some word or this or a phrase or whatever thing, and they try to support the communication with another word but in Spanish or according with their native language for try to continue with the communication. And this is the idea of that function. The third function is reiteration. In that part, the messages are in reverse, if what is said, or clarify where the message has already been transmitted in one code but not understood. An example can be when, for example, I don't know, but it happens to me when I try to say something, but I think that other students can't understand the things that I say, and I have to repeat it, the same information, but in my native language. I try to all people can understood the things that I'm saying at the moment. The final is the final function in conflict control. In that part, well, you know that in English, for example, we can find a lot of different words that have similar pronunciation or that the same word have different meanings. With the conflict control, for example, the student try to give a meaning about the word that they have to say and try to avoid conflicts because it can be misinterpreted in a bad form, but or he or she try to give a meaning about the things that have to say.
We found that about multilingual classroom, code switching is not always a block or deficiency in language learning. Sometimes we can think that if you use your native language is so bad because you can't understand or you can use other language, but not is exactly because you need to use your vocabulary about your native language to communicate. So your brain is trying to search about information that you need to communicate so you can change the language. It can be a useful strategy in classroom interaction if the goal is to clarify meanings and transfer knowledge, and can be a barrier to mutual intelligibility in a conversation with a native speaker. If you don't control the use of code switching, you can be you couldn't you can talk with native person because your brain is would try to talk in Spanish or in your native language, so it's hard to communicate.
Yes. Also with the multilingual classrooms, I think that it's important that you try to speak the most as you can in the new language that the students are learning at the moment. But also it's so important that you try to you understood that it's not very easy for the other students that all was all in the moment all it's in the same language, because if that people don't understood something, I think it's important try to give an example or try that that person understood in her native language. And also it's important that people don't try to speak always her native language when they are trying to learning a new one. I think it's important try to use both languages in a classroom. Okay, we watch a video. It's about a classroom, and here we have different functions between students and teacher during the class. This is our analysis video. For example, in the part of the students, we can see that appear different examples. For example, appear equivalence in some kids that with I don't know what was about a adrenalina or some things like that that he want to say something but he forgot or she forgot how can he say that and speak in Spanish. And for example, also in floor holding, I remember that one child tried to say something about an elephant, that he was vegetarian, but he don't know how can I say that, and he said like the elephant is vegetarian. And we have reiteration and an example that we can watch in the video. It's when a girl said, I don't remember the phrase, but she tried to say something, but I don't know why, but she, I don't know, she say the same in Spanish. Sometimes she think that anyone can understand the things that she was saying at the moment and try to say the same but more clarified probably. I think so. And
And
continue.
the other example that we can find was in the teacher, and code switching was a function was operating function. That was when he tried to explain a word, but the students couldn't understand the mean. So teacher needed to say in Spanish because was the best decision in the situation, because he didn't have he didn't have other way to explain. In the video we can find in the in a part that was medio. In Spanish the word was medio, and in English it was half. So the students couldn't understand, so the teacher needed to say in Spanish. And the other was affective function, that was in a part that teacher need to use Spanish because students were like scream or stand up. So teacher needed to say, por favor, niños, siéntense, no rompan las reglas, things like that, because students can understand that if teacher change the language is because it's an important thing that he's saying. So we can understand that teacher need to use native language to say something that is effective the situation.
Okay, and this is our bibliography. In that part, in that links, we can find all the information. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.